Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be digging a little bit deeper into the conversations Mel had on the last episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville with both Maurice and Kimmy.
Hopefully y'all enjoyed y'all Christmas. I will release this the day after Christmas. And I just want to touch on this great episode. I thought it was a great episode.
It was great.
Of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, let's have a conversation, family. Right? I see a lot of people saying that what Melody did in the whole Maurice debacle DUI and how she's addressing Kimmy is how she was treated in the earlier seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? And to those people, I say, why do you want to be wrong to prove a point? I don't get it. If how you was treated in the earlier seasons was objectively wrong, why do you want to be on the side of wrong to prove a point of, well, y'all did this to me? This is the whole saying of two wrongs don't make a right. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I don't think this is that. I think this is apples and oranges in the sense of who exposed Melody and Martell's marriage on the show? Melody did.
In the first episode. She was at that table when they went out of town, to hang out with all the other couples. And Mel was the one who brought up, so what do you guys do to move past infidelity in a marriage? Something along those lines. And she called herself calling Martell out when she put her situation and her relationship on the table, on the platter for everyone to pick at from seasons to come.
Yes. And this was the infamous scene. I think this was in Kimmy's or like Maurice's house, whoever house he was in, right?
They were on vacation.
It was on vacation?
Yeah.
It was the first episode, though. Why were they on vacation?
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah, they wasn't on vacation, right? They wasn't on vacation. I don't think so. I think it was the first episode. I think they was in Maurice's house. I want to say they was in Maurice's house.
Okay.
Right? So, if Melody is the one that's exposing Martell, right? Now, mind you, it's not really an exposure, right? Because she already knew that Martell was cheating on her. This is not something that that was a secret to anybody. You get what I'm saying? She knew that Martell was cheating on her. So, I could kind of see how Maurice in this episode that just passed talking about ever since she found out that Martell was cheating on her and things of that nature, she's been on a whole basically mission to prove that everybody is cheating on their spouse, right? I can see that. That's why when I saw her basically going and confronting Maurice, I had no problem with her going and confront Maurice. Let me go with that. She's talking to Maurice. She's bringing up the DUI. She's even talking about his actions and his behavior when it came to the DUI. I'm all for it, right? One-on-one conversation. She even brought up her grandmother who passed away tragically by a DUI driver, right? Maurice stood up basically not stood up, but he stood up for himself, basically saying, hold on, this is not that. I even don't have a problem with that, right? The whole, basically, conversation, even though it was getting, not rude, but it was getting it was a serious conversation.
Yes.
Right? The part I didn't like is when Maurice is talking, and then when she basically didn't have nothing else to say, she basically make it seem like, oh, what? Kimmy, get your husband and stuff like that, and then make it seem like Maurice, you are basically raising your voice at me and you basically doing this, and now she want to basically cower out. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
To me, that's a Karen, right? Basically, you approach the guy, you approached him with the conversation, and he has every right to defend himself, right? And he didn't call you out his name. He didn't even disrespect you. You was condescending, but that's how Mel talk anyway, right? And he has a right to be like, you don't know what happened. Wait till the facts come out. As far as we know, in present day, the charges has been thrown out. That's not on his record today, right? However, whatever technicalities happen, it's not on his record today, right? Then we go on later on in the episode to where she has the one-on-one with Kimmy. What is your thoughts overall on that one-on-one with Kimmy? Like what is the sense you got?
I want to talk about the Maurice part a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So for the Maurice thing, Mel came over there.
Yeah.
She sat down to have this conversation. Number one, what did she expect Maurice to do with the open case?
That is true.
That he is actively fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Does she expect him to be, like she said, you should have been apologetic, you should have been this, you should have been that? Well, Mel, he has an active case open. I don't think he's going to admit to any fault during a conversation with you. Why would he do that? And for her to go on to say that his tone was disrespectful or it was defensive, I would expect someone to be defensive when you are accusing them of being guilty of a DUI when they have a alleged DUI or they were charged with the DUI but haven't been convicted yet. So for her to basically say, this is what you've done, and my grandmother passed at the hand of somebody who, you know, who was driving under the influence, that is putting him and that situation into the same pot. And absolutely, he would be the one to say, I'm not going to agree with the fact that I was somebody who could have put your grandmother in that situation because I'm fighting my DUI. So no, Mel. And then for Mel to not be able to even finish the conversation. So what was your whole point of coming over? You just wanted to berate him to correct him and what you feel like he should have done, come over as HR of this is how you need to conduct yourself, which is funny because she didn't handle Kiki in that way when Kiki had her charge and she was on video, even though, you know, rest in peace, Kiki, and, you know, and
God bless the dead,
and her situation got thrown out as well, but she didn't have the same grace for Maurice that she did for Kiki, and I just find that very interesting.
Because her grandmother, no one robbed her grandmother. You get what I'm saying? Unlike Kiki allegedly robbed a Costco.
And that's my thing with Mel is that she is very picky and choosy with how she handles situations. Even with the Trish situation in the same episode, she's over here talking about, oh, maybe y'all still love each other. Maybe y'all still all this type of stuff. When Mel, you didn't like when people did that to you.
Not at all.
And even though Trish may have gone to Martell's house and maybe you want to twist the knife in her a little bit, which is kind of unnecessary because Trish didn't necessarily do anything to you or kick you down when you were going through your hard situation. So it does seem like she is just kind of spouting off at the mouth, just being hateful.
Yeah. So. And Trish is not the woman of interest or the person of interest that ruined your marriage.
Right.
Like Trish was not the side chick or anything Arion's not the side chick either, apparently, according to Martell. You get what I'm saying? So I agree with everything that you just said, right? Because don't bring your grandmother into this. You get what I'm saying? Because that was, I think, low, even for Mel to even try to use your grandmother in the sense of why you think it's serious and why you're kind of condescending to him.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he have nothing to do with your grandmother. And now we are at the confrontation with Kimmy, right? And she's basically, I don't want to say use the word gaslighting, but the perfect word to describe it is the word that Kimmy said. Cavalier attitude, dismissive. You get what I'm saying? And I don't understand why y'all view that scene and want to champion Melody, or why anybody would want to champion Melody in the whole sense of, well, they did it to her. I'm like, well, technically no, because Melody was the one that exposed her marriage and all the details of their marriage. Love and Marriage Huntsville, let's be honest, has been able to eat for this long off of the back of Melody and Martell's marriage or failed marriage, whatever it was, right?
Right.
So this is not that. This is not some exposure or anybody plant seed in Melody's head about Martell. She knew about Martell before the show was even on the air. You get what I'm saying? So for her to basically be like, well, I said what I said to everybody else. You already heard it from everybody else. Why? So I'm guessing I don't have to repeat it, Kimmy. And basically using this attitude as some type of get back to get to Kimmy. What was your thoughts on that scene?
Well, one, I want to talk about Mel's get back.
Okay.
The only get back that I would say is fair game is Tisha. And the only reason I say that is because Tisha did have a lot to say when Mel was going through a hard time. She was kind of laughing and poking at her situation when they were going through it. So for Mel to turn around and be like, telling Tisha, well, you need to ask Marsau what he's up to, because Tisha was kind of doing a lot during that time. The only thing that really stood out for me with Kimmy is when Kimmy was telling Mel that Martell is a nice guy. And even though that's wild to say to somebody who cheated and had a baby on somebody, I also want to put it out there that Mel stayed with the man.
That is
knowing
true.
that he cheated, had another baby knowing that he was cheating on her. So, and had another baby after the mistress, ended that one pregnancy. So I think that when you are in a friend group the way that these people are, and you're deciding to go back to stay in a relationship with that partner, and your friends have to continue to be friends with both of y'all, now that you're done and you want to sever the friendship, I can't still think of him as, I still like him. I don't think that was such a dig, even though it is, but I felt like Tisha did worse digging than Kimmy did. And I think that Kimmy, the respect that she and Mel have been able to hold up for each other, I felt like Kimmy deserved for Mel to give her the decency of a conversation. So, and to get into the conversation.
Yeah.
The thing is, Mel had gone around and told everybody what she thought about the lipstick. If we want to parallel that to the conversation with Maurice, she was going around talking to everybody about what she thought about the DUI. Yeah. And she said, Maurice, I've been talking about this, so now I'm going to come and talk to you directly about it.
Okay.
But when it comes to Kimmy, she's been going around talking about the lipstick. And when Kimmy's like, well, say it to me. And Mel's like, I don't have to say it to you because I told other people and they already told you what I said.
That's weird.
So why is it when it comes to Maurice, you want to confront him with stuff that you said about him behind his back? When it comes to Kimmy, you can't directly tell her what you said about her husband. And Mel wants to talk about, well, it wasn't really about you. If it's about her husband, it's about her relationship, it's about her, and about the status, of possible infidelity in the relationship. Mel knows that more than anybody. Even when she invited Kimmy out, talking about, our husbands, they can embarrass us and this and that and all that type of stuff. So you link them together for that conversation, but now conveniently for this conversation, you want to separate the two.
Come on, Blair.
So.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna be a villain, be a villain.
Yeah, now, stand in it.
Now this is what I mean by villain. These type of shows need a villain. You get what I'm saying? And Mel is trying to. The only problem I have with what a lot of people saying, because listen here, this is why I want to have a discussion. The problem that I have with what a lot of y'all are saying is that, Mel is just doing to them what they did to Mel. But I'm like, give me a time in all the seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville that Melody ever said that she was wrong. That she held herself accountable, that I messed up. And I'm not talking about within the marriage. I'm just talking about within friendships, within any type of disagreements and things like that. Melody always come off as if someone wronged her. And I think that she views everybody through the lens of Martell, in the sense of like, this is triggering me to like trusting you, and any wrong I see in you, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to change my number. I'm going to treat you like a fan. You get what I'm saying? But whole time when confronted, this is the part that I like, because this is the thing that Melody want to preach, talking about, don't talk about me online and things like that. Come to me and things of that nature. But when confronted, you cower. And I'm like, I can't get behind that. I can't get behind wronging someone or being on the side of wrong because someone wronged you. First of all, if you're on the side of right, why would you even go on the side of wrong to prove you right? Eventually, you will be proven right. Like, so that makes no sense. And number two, when confronted with Kimmy, right, you have been, and I've been watching since season 1. You have been on a mission, it seemed like, to prove that Martell is not the only one cheating. Well, guess what? If it's true or not, Martell's the only one that got caught.
Yeah.
Marsau and them, you see Martell and his baby mother came out with an interview and things of that nature, trying to expose Marsau, and that fell on his face.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We are now over 6 years of people talking about Marsau's mistresses and like Maurice mistresses and things of that nature, and no one came out yet. And my thing is, Melody, if you know something, say it. Like don't allude to it, right? Don't have the red arrow pointing to like his light-skinned face when I'm looking for the red lipstick and things like that. What are you trying to say about the red lipstick? What are you trying to allude to? Are you saying that he's cheating on someone? Then say that and then have the proof. or else you're doing a Martell move.
Yeah.
Like at the field day. And people hate whenever we compare Martell and Melody, but I'm like, they doing the same thing. They've been married for too long for them not to be alike. They have too many children for them not to be alike in certain ways. It's just what happens. Some people thought me and Blair was brothers and sisters. We not. We husband and wife because we've been together for so long that it's hard for us not to be alike in certain aspects. And what Melody is doing is exactly what Martell did at the field day with the whole bluffing with like, oh, I saw lipstick and things of that nature. And when confronted, you fell flat on your face with Kimmy. Now, I have a solution to all of this, unless you have anything else to add.
No, what's the solution?
I have a solution for all of this. And truth be told, it's a promotion for Melody. I think we need to promote Melody because I think, for one, let me do with Martell. Martell, I think he's going to be off the show next season.
Okay.
That's what I think. And he don't need a promotion, right? Melody needs a promotion. And I think we should promote Melody to her own show. I think she should get her own spinoff, right? To where the focus would be 100% on her. You know, she's a businesswoman, she's a woman, she's a mother, she's all these successful things that she tell us and that we see, right? I think she should get her own spinoff, and that by way promotion. That way you save both shows. Hopefully you grow a new show with Mel, and by then hopefully you get everybody shooting together in Love and Marriage Huntsville. Because I think Melody is to the point where nobody wants to shoot with her, right? And I don't want to put it in a situation or in the same light as Martell. I think a lot, but it's going across the lines. I feel like Martell kind of shot himself in the foot when it comes to people and things of that nature, especially with the cases that he has that's open. I think it's like, Martell, we did good. Matter of fact, you're not even married to Melody anymore. So thank you for your service. Thank you for building Love and Marriage Huntsville off of yours, marriage and things of that nature. We go let you go. Melody, we're not going to let you go, but we're going to let you go from this show. We're going to give you a spinoff so you can actually shoot with your friends. And actually, let's see what goes on in Melody life. I think that is the solution for Melody because she don't like shooting with the people on the show. She's not friends with people on the show. She's not married to no one on the show. So give Melody her own spinoff.
Okay.
Dude, like, you think that would be a successful show?
No.
Why?
I don't find Mel that interesting on her own. Maybe in her friend group, but she just, and maybe it's because of the nature of the show that she's on, to where these people have, you know, done her dirty and didn't show a lot of support to her and maybe knew things that they didn't tell her. So I'm not going to put it all that she doesn't have a reason to be this way, but she comes across as like very fake, like, you know what I'm saying? And it would be nice to see her in an atmosphere to where she's around people she actually loves and cares about. So I will say, like, in the first season, I actually really liked Melody the first season because I thought that she was doing a good job of being like friendly with the girls. Yeah. She invited them over for spa days. She was taking Tisha out to all these different events to get her out a little bit more. So I felt that Mel came across a lot more genuine in the early seasons, but at the same time, there's a lot that has happened to where I can understand why her walls would be up, but it's not interesting to watch with her being discarded. So maybe it could be successful. Yeah. I don't have a crystal ball, but if anything, it would still have to be an ensemble cast. I think that she does well working off of other people, but I don't know if I would tune in, to be honest. Yeah,
and I think to your point, it's fair, and I think the way we view Melody, or to your point, the way you view Melody, is dictated on how her light was shining in the first season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Yeah. And she's been through so much that now, you know, that dark cloud that Maurice talking about, you kind of see it. Like, I feel like the main reason why people will call Melody fake is based off of this show. Yeah. Based off the relationships that she have with the show. So I actually think a new spinoff will actually clean the slate with Melody. She already has a fan base and things of that nature, and I think people will tune in, and I will give her a clean slate. I will watch the show and actually come up with an objective fact about Melody that says, you know what? You're not fake. You know what? You can be friendly with friends, because everything I feel is dictated off of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't think she's a good friend.
Same for me. And even
you get what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
And even when she like brings her friends onto her show,
yeah,
and maybe just Shanita wasn't a very good friend to bring on,
yeah,
but you brought on a really shady friend, and the conversations y'all were having was about the other castmates and the ladies when you guys were supposed to be moving into a better space. So it just didn't come across very good.
So, hey, Carlos, I understand one of your castmates, one of your big castmates from one of your shows quit on you live. Give Melody a spinoff.
Okay.
I think that would solve the problem for everybody. They don't got to worry about Mel, and Melody can actually be the star that she believes she is.
Okay.
And then there would be no Martell. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Let us know what y'all think about that solution that I gave right there. Melody spinoff. Would y'all watch it? Will y'all watch it? I think I'll watch it just to see how it is. That's all I got. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Thank you. Anything else?
That's it. Bye.
All right.